Good morning, everybody. Orin J here with another War of the Visions video, and as y'all know by now, the big surprise for this week was Valentines Day Salire is dropping in Global. And not only is she dropping, she's dropping as a non-limited unit. Now, she was limited in JP around Valentine's Day, which I don't think they call Valentine's Day, it's like Chocolate Day or something. Whatever. We're going to talk about just what this unit is, look at her skills, look at her kit, all of that. We're going to talk about where she fits in to the global meta, and we're going to talk about should you pull for her, am I going to pull for her, all of that stuff we're going to cover right now. Alright, now we're about to talk about a new unit, so if you find yourself needing Visior to pull for this new unit, please consider using my Amazon coin affiliate link. Best way to support the channel, and thank you to everybody who does that. We got that out of the way. Let's talk about Valentine's Day Salire, and the first thing I'd like to talk about with new units is the TMR. Like, sometimes it's just worth taking a unit to level 99 because their TMR is like, going to help define your account. Think Giza, think, Oldoa, for example. Those units, even though you don't use them all the time, maybe, their TMRs were just worth getting. That is not the case, however, with Valentine's Day Salire. Her TMR is a cloth armor with pretty mediocre stats, and then the effect is a 20% HP consume. So you hurt yourself for 20% of your HP. For a 200% chance to magical evasion for 1 turn. Now, I'm not as down on this as some other people are. There are scenarios, right, on a really short map, let's say, for example, where you could get a unit to pop this, go forward into range of the enemy, who are all magic users, and you'll dodge all their magic attacks until it's your next turn. That is a very niche, very niche scenario. So I don't think in that case it's good. In other cases, it's not worth leveling her just for that. So let's move on. I don't think you're going to get a ton of use out of that TMR. How about her stats? Statistically, where does she compare to our current global big hitters that are either like her or magic? I have on the screen her stats at 120. Plus Black Rose Helena stats at 120 and Garvel's stats at 99. Garvel, it's going to be a long time before we see his level 120 stats, but they're the same job. They're both energists. So how do they look? Well, going down the line, I think she falls nicely in between these two. Now, I do think when Garvel gets his EX, his stat pool will look a whole lot like Valentine's Day Salire's. So in a way, she's kind of a preview for him, but she's Ice Element where he is Dark. He's going to get the benefit of just Dark being the best element we have in Global, whereas she's in Ice. Now, Ice is not in a bad spot, right? There are tons of good Ice units. There's a new vision card dropping soon. I don't know a date yet for you, but the Ice Dragon that is perfect for her. And when that drops, her power level will increase dramatically. Now, her HP's at 2989. That is 500-ish less than Black Rose Helena, but that makes sense. Black Rose Helena was a double cost unit. Although we got her for single cost, she's a 100 cost. Those are the most powerful units in the game. Valentine's Day Salire, not going to be as statistically overwhelming as Black Rose Helena is. But look at that magic stat on Salire, 477. That's pretty good, right? That's significantly higher than Garvel's and just a little bit south of Medina. Her agility is sort of slow, 57. You'd really like to see that up higher, but she is a bruiser. I think I need to stress that. You guys know how Garvel is a physical bruiser that does a bunch of damage? Same job as Salire. That's also going to be her role. She has a nice amount of AP. Again, that's the kind of AP I think Garvel will be looking at when he EXs. Move 3, jump 1 with 10 defense on her, which is actually better than Helena and better than Garvel. Okay, what about resistance types? She is resistant to piercing and magic by 10. She is weak to strike by -10 and nothing else. So, not bad. She's kind of hovering around baseline with all of it. There's not a ton of strike in the game. Okay, she is getting the 15 ice attack up because she's a newer unit, so she brings that buff to her whole group. She has a 50% Berserk resist. Now, there was a time in this game when I thought Berserk resist was useless. Then King Mont got announced in JP and everybody was like, oh, It's coming, and they weren't wrong. It came, and Berserk is here, baby. Now, Helena does have 10 Berserk resist that I see I covered up with my graphic, whoops. But 50 is nice. It's going to be really hard to Berserk her. She will actually be pretty decent against King Mont. Not great. She certainly doesn't counter him, but like Garvel, she has that shield. People saying, oh, King Mont's just going to run her over. Not really. She's going to do fine against him. Okay. So that's her stats. You can look at that, kind of make those judgments for yourself. I think she's going to look what like 120 Garvel will look like statistically. Not saying they're going to be equal in power. What about her skills? Is she bringing anything unique or good to the table? We'll start with support and counter skills. She's bringing that 5 first turns of battle buff. That is huge. I think you just run this all the time. Agility, magic, dexterity. Agility up 30%, magic up 60, dexterity up 60. She is just on steroids at the beginning of a fight, and she's going to go crit things head off with her magic attacks. She also is probably going to run alongside that another magic up 30% for herself. The rest of her skills seem kind of bad to me. You could, in some situations, run the CT nullify one if you don't want her hasting herself, or you could run the skill activation time one down if you want her casting haste faster, but oof, I don't know. I'm probably running that first one for sure, and then magic up. Counter abilities, she has physical reflex, so she has a chance to just dodge physical attacks like Frederica does, right? Really good skill. The rest of them are just okay. She has like slow counter and a damage counter, but you're going to run physical reflex and run this chick against physical teams because that's what she's built to do. All right, moving on. Her main job skills. Let's talk about the good ones here. I'm not going to go over them all. She has an upgrade to a skill that is like, it was a very small, like in front of you by 2 squares AoE, that goes up to it in front of you by 3 squares AoE, that does 245% damage. If she can find targets, and like especially more than one with this skill, she will obliterate people with this. This is going to be one of her highest damage skills, and it's great. She also has that physical barrier. If we go down to the next line, a 50% damage cut to physical barriers is a big deal. Now, this is the point in the video where people are already typing their comments. They're saying, oh, pause. But wait, King Mont can break physical barriers. I thought you said she would do okay against him. Guys, if King Mont, 2 things. 1, King Mont, if you're running a tank, his physical barrier breaks a single target attack. So he's not going to like ignore the tank and go break her barrier. Hate still trumps the AI wanting to break barriers. 2, if King Mont is using his attack to break her barrier, that's a turn he's not berserking your team. It's a turn he's not lowering their slash resist. It's a turn he's not disabling somebody. I'll take that trade. That's fine. Okay, that's a great skill and will really help her against physical targets. She also has the 100% hit chance, detonation blast that Garvel uses all the time, so she'll be a good option for anti-evade. And her job level 25 skill is 165% damage modifier and a nice AoE that increases her magic by 30% for 3 turns for herself. So another magic steroid for her, another way of juicing up her magic stat. And she might be running one of the higher magic stats in this game when all of her buffs are factored in. We'll have to wait and see her in combat to see how high she can get it, in the moment. All right, moving on. Subjobs. I'm only going to talk about Time Mage here. Her main job, subjob, doesn't really have anything in it. Black Mage does have Drain, so if you're running like a really bruiser-focused build and you just want to turn everything off but Drain, go for it. Time Mage is probably the one most people will run because she has Haste. No Quicken, which does suck, but Haste is really, really good. 42% increased speed for 3 turns. Who doesn't want Haste in their group? Haste is fantastic, right? Look at Titus, look at Ayaka, fantastic. Her Limit Break is also very, very good. It dispels all buff and haste from the target, does 166% damage, and increases her CT 100 for 1 turn for herself. So she's going to like get a hit off, boost her CT gauge up a little bit, and then get to go again. Really leaning into like kind of the Time Mage be fast aspect of the character. Fits her theme, I think. Okay, cool. Now, let's talk about how I think she just fits in overall, like what her role is really going to be, and if she's worth going for. Okay, I think the main skill you highlight when you see somebody like this is she's a high damage mage with a physical shield. Boom, there we go. She's going to be somebody, in my opinion, or how I will run her if I get her, or go for her, or whatever. I'll run her alongside somebody like Garvel and somebody like Dwayne or Agrius or a tank, and not run a healer with the group, maybe, right? Or let Garvel take care of some healing. And I'll run him out there just being like, I'm bringing a ton of damage. It's going to take you 2 or 3 hits to kill me. And by that time, I'm going to have blown you off the map. That's the goal with her, I think. And when Garvel ever does get his 120 EX, I think these two were a cool little synergy. Now let's talk about Ice. Because Ice in Global, very physical based, right? Orin, Agrius. Gilgamesh is a hybrid. I'll give Gilgamesh does some magic damage. But Laswell, right? Very physical element. Now, I know Medina's out there, but Medina is not a PvP all-star. Okay, so what about this chick? Well, I don't know that at this exact moment she fits in an all-ice team, but when that Ice Dragon card that you see on the screen drops, she will fit into an all-ice team. This card is tailor-made for her. It's got big magic stats on it. It will boost her ability to do magic damage while giving ice attack up to the whole rest of the group. She's a phenomenal person to carry this card, and I would not be surprised at all if it dropped next week with a Valentines Day Salire specific global upgrade for it, or like a Valentines Day Salire / Medina specific global upgrade. This card will really unlock her full power, and with her not being limited, I think you'd be pretty safe to just sort of sit back, see how long her banners exist, see if this card drops next week, and if it has some insane buffs for her, maybe her value goes up, right? Like, maybe this just really unlocks her, and she's a whole different beast in Global than she was in JP, because I don't get the feeling she was all that used in JP. Now, should you pull for her? Am I going to pull for her? I'm not going to 100% pull for her. I'm definitely doing Warrior of Light. That's all my Blossoms. I'm tapped out once I have him. So I really don't have room to build another unit right now. If she is available for like 2k paid or 4k paid Visior or something like that, I will pick her up so I can do her bingo board, throw her in the barracks, and start just saying, okay, let's see what this Ice Dragon card looks like. And if nothing else, I'll have an Ice Mage that's better than Medina. Cool. Medina's been in this game since day 1, and maybe there'll be an event someday where I need Ice Magic, and now I'll have 2. So I don't think her place in Global is as good as it will be soon. Should you pull for her? Well, first of all, one thing I just want to say is that y'all know your accounts, and you know what you like and you don't like. She absolutely is somebody who you could make work if you wanted to. If you're just a fan of this unit you've been looking forward to, go, do her, get it, build her, build a team around her, and go crush people. You absolutely can. She is a strong unit. Is she going to shift the whole meta back to Ice? No, she won't. The Ice meta existed for a while with Gilgamesh and Orin, and it's still floating around out there. She'll be a nice addition to the Ice meta, but overall she's going to be a nice addition to this game, and I'm happy that she's not limited. I hope what they do with these older units, Swimsuit Ketone, for example, that we missed in Global during their first release, is they give them to us as non-limited units, and then they give us the new limited units as limited units. I think that made sense, right? But anyway, hook us up with these old ones, like what they're doing with Valentine's Day Salire. That's a good direction for the game in general, I think. Okay, that's it, you guys. These are just thoughts. This is just my looking at the JP side and telling you a little bit about this unit. So if you are pulling for her, good luck, right? I hope the banners are awesome. We'll see tomorrow just how good they are. And yeah, that's it, y'all. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.